Thanks, Maria. That was really interesting. You get really into that data, don't you?
I do. I get a little bit nerdy, but it's all right.
Right. Um, it is. I mean, it looks like it's a really challenging. How do you prioritize your testing?
It really comes down to what is the impact to the business. There are usually about 20, 25 test ideas that I have kicking around in my head or on paper somewhere. It comes down to impact on the business. What is the highest impact, lowest lift that I can do? Meaning, how much effort, how many teams do I have to involve?
Mm.
And also, do I have testing budget for this, or is it just coming out of my normal budget? But those are really the things that kind of pop up. And sometimes I'll be real. I've been wanting to test non-brand for 6 months now. I'm going to launch it next month, finally. But that was something that was like, I want to do non-brand. Is it going to drive revenue? Not as well as brand will. So let's just keep pushing that bad boy out. But I know I need to do it. So eventually we will get to it.
Sounds good. For Will, which video platform do you think has the most impact SEO wise? And what about Pinterest? Does that count?
Ooh, what video? Well, I mean, the video. So I don't really get into predictions. Like I just use data for everything, right? So the data
Okay.
is telling me that. So I have a limited data set. So you have to think I'm using Google as my data set. So I don't have TikTok data. They don't make certain things as easy to get. So for me, I'm constantly just tracking YouTube and seeing like where is YouTube showing up, where is that included video might be the right answer, and using that to influence some of my strategies. As it relates to Pinterest, what we've done is we've looked at where is Google showing an image result, and then where is the domain Pinterest showing up, and that's like a doubling down. But I would say I think the last time I ran that analysis, it was like 80% of the time when Google thought an image was the right answer, and they put an image in the top X for we kind of skew to certain types of clients that like most of the time Pinterest was somewhere in the top 10 or 20 as well. Because think about it, if Google knows image is the right answer and they're willing to put image results there, oftentimes we'll also see Pinterest ranking somewhere in the top 20 as well.
Okay. Interesting. Maria, how do we post this question? Show? There you go. How do you measure share of voice and impression shares?
Yeah, so share of voice basically is search impression share. I'll be honest, I hate share of voice with a passion. It is such a gameable metric. And what I mean by that is from a page search standpoint, let's say I start with a keyword set of 50 keywords, and my goal is to hit 70% impression share. If I don't have the budget to play to hit 70% for all 50 keywords, guess what? Oh, I'm going to bid on 3 keywords now. And all of a sudden I have 90% share of voice, impression share. This is great. I'm exceeding my goal. Is that what's best for the business? Probably not, because I have narrowed down my focus so much that I'm now not reaching people in the manner that we would want to. But I hit my goal, so that means I'm successful as a paid search manager, right? No.
One of the things I love the idea of gameable metrics, and somewhere I read, I think it was Andy Grove that was saying, oh no, it's the guy that they wrote $1 Trillion Coach about. Anyway, he was saying that he tries to put two metrics in the same visual so that people don't game them to make one go up and they just show it to you. And I was like, oh, it's really interesting if you ever think, all right, so if metric A can be gamed, what's the other metric that I want on that same graph that shows that we're going in the right direction and that we're not kind of gaming this one metric and moving on to the next slide, kind of having them next to each other, like literally in the same graphic, helps you to be like, no. If you were able to hit your search impression share number, but the number of keywords targeted is under X, I know what you did. That's not right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's interesting. Windows 11 launched, and we were working on that, and it was like, okay, here's your share voice goal. Hit it. Well, we had no idea what the interest was going to be in Windows 11. It had been a long time since Windows has been updated. And so then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make up a number off the top of my head. I'm going to go back to my bosses and say, in order to hit half of what my goal is, I need $40 billion $40 million, whatever the case might be. And it's like, no, you're not going to get that money. So then you drop it down and you're like, okay, I'm just going to bid only on Windows 11, not any older OS systems, not any competitors. And that's where that gameable piece comes in, right? Like, sure, I can hit it, but is that the right move for the business?
For the business. Yeah, that's a great point. I think a whole session on gameable metrics would be interesting. Like, what are the gameable metrics that you're being given that don't always tell you the story that you think you're hearing,
Mm-hmm.
You have another question for Wil.
Is it the one there? Okay, it's from David.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Like, no, it's not even companies. It's like everybody. Like, it's everybody. It's really weird. Like, I've been beating this drum for like 6 years. It's like your customers see both. Your customers see both. Why is it that you go into this tool to see this thing on paid, and then you go into this tool to see this stuff on organic? And it's like that joined report is garbage. It doesn't tell you if video ranks in the top X. It doesn't tell you if maps are showing up and you're an e-commerce site. So maybe that doesn't make the right, I think one of the eye-opening things for me was I went after the word SEO company back in the day. And I was like, I want to beat everybody else that tries to go after the word SEO company globally. It's like a good challenge, right? So I'm like SEO company, SEO agency, and SEO consultant. I went after those with all my might. It took me 3 years. We ranked in the top 3 for all 3 of them. Then, as Google's search engine started improving, they started showing maps for all of them. And you know what? That's an example of how going after a word, once you get the clue, you're like, oh my God, people think of SEO company the same way they think about pizza. When those customers want a pizza, they don't want you to give me an ad from somewhere that's really far away. So when I did all that work, I was like, I would have bid on those words. I would have bid on SEO. I will never bid on the word SEO company or SEO consultant or paid search, whatever, because I use the clue from Google that says it's a local search. You guys work with national brands. It doesn't make sense for you to target this keyword because we've already learned that. So I think it's broadly something that just like is ridiculously underused. And to be honest with you, I think it's in Google's best interest to not give you that. We worked with a bank when 21 Savage dropped the song Bank Account. There was a bank that had spent $60,000 in a month on words related to the rap song. Rappers talk a lot about money, and banks show up for a lot of freaking keywords where video is the number one result. And they got no idea. So whether it's bank account, cash machine, all these kind of words that end up in rap songs, and they think, if I just negate the word MP3 or video, I'll be fine. And it's like, no, when the word bank account dropped a remix, people started being like, bank account remix. Did you negate remix? Did you negate Joyner Lucas, who did the remix? Did you know that was even happening? Nope. So yeah, no, I think it's a broad-based issue that I'm very passionate about trying to help clients and people with, is bring this data together and just make better decisions. Protect your budgets. Be smarter about how you spend your money.
Okay. Maria, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love this conversation. I talked about trying to get my non-brand test off the ground. I have been working very closely with our SEO team and understanding what content are you guys building out? Where are you thinking about taking this? Because if you, again, to my point earlier, if you don't have the landing page and the content to back it up, it doesn't matter what you're doing. But by working together, I can see where they're ranking, what content they're building, and how can I come in and help support that. So if we do have videos, we do have our organic listings, but you're not in the ranking that you want, well, how can I come in and put us on top, if I can, either in a PLA or with a normal ad, and show that support? And I think, too, we should be talking to our social and display teams more as well. Anything that's happening online, we need to be in communication. We need to be working together because we are not independent of one another. Your point exactly, Will. Like, our customers see everything. So for us to work in silos is very difficult and disjointed, and we're not giving the customer the right experience.
Maria, one thing I'll say, I mean, you probably know this, but like, you're uniquely able to take advantage of that integration because Bing has a search API. So you can I'm trying to get what Google understands. You're like, I work at the company that basically has an API that I don't need to scrape anything. Like, I'll just use the API to give me all the clues to drive that conversation. So you're especially lucky. I wish some days. I wish.
It's fun. I can't wait. I mean, we talk about AI. We both of us kind of skirted around Chat GPT. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for all of this to come together, see how it plays out. But yeah, there are different things that we can do. But yes, a little spoiled.
I got just the other day, I was like, it hit me. I was looking at, so I'm not talking about Chat GPT because I'm like, everybody's talking about it right now, right? But one of the things that we're looking at is, again, so Bing has an API, and you can see in the API like all the different phrases that they're using for descriptions and things of that nature. And it's like, oh wait, if Bing already knows what the right descriptions are for all this organic stuff, take the top 10 organic rankings, take the people also ask questions, run all of them through Chat GPT, and basically be like, all right, now I can take a search, or I can take a landing page that's been driving thousands of different search terms to it, tens of thousands, and then break that into smaller groups, because now I can more quickly produce the right ad and the right copy and the right landing page content that's closer to what that customer actually wants. Because we've been looking at this for a couple of years too. And if you look at the ad final URL and sum up the number of search terms at the ad final URL level, and then you sum up for that same number of search terms, how many unique pages rank number one on Google, you'll see clients where you're like, wait, you got one landing page ranking for like 50,000, or where you're targeting 50,000 different unique search terms. And yet Google's like, you need about 1,000 number one pages to rank for that. So it's just another thing that I freaking love to geek out on. Yeah. Nerd, you're safe space for nerds right here.
Yeah, this has been has been a very nerdy session, and I'm happy because I, for one, learned a lot. And unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. But thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with everybody. We have more sessions for the Paid Search Association at the link that is on the screen. And please join us for another session later in the day. And thanks so much again for being with us.